lounging, son.
Welcome to another episode of the Comic Lounge Podcast, guys. I am your host, your friendly neighborhood Dillbot, with my co-host Ryan, the immortal, eternal, whatever. Anyway, welcome back, guys. This week we're going to be talking about Future State, just like everybody else. Pretty hype about it. Future State.
Yes.
Let's talk about first. Let's talk about the things we loved. I mean, I think it goes unanimously, like throughout the entire internet. Yara Floor.
Yes.
Yara Floor literally stole the show, dude.
Let's say who really. I mean, Joelle Jones writing and drawing.
Joelle Jones.
I mean, she is fucking phenomenal, dude. She's an amazing artist. Her writing is it just always gets better from every project I read from her. So. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's like everything about this. It's like I like the fact that where her story is going. I'm a little sad that's only 2 issues, but I mean, she'll be around, I'm sure. Like the popularity.
But like I told you when we did that episode about the Infinite Frontier, there is going to be a Wonder Girl series with a young Yara Floor by Joelle Jones writing and drawing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
They just haven't solicited it yet. I'm assuming it's going to be solicited maybe April. Same thing with the new Green Lantern book by Jeffrey Thorne, which wasn't in the March solicits. So I think there's a couple more titles we just haven't seen. Wonder Girl has been announced, so we are gonna have more Yara Floor. I'm all for it, dude. Like the panel
I think about. There's a panel I think about often, and it's this one. And I'm just like, I saw it and I was just like, damn. Damn.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, I'm gonna let you know right now. Like, you talked about the Wonder Woman book, and then I added it to my poll because of you. I was planning to read it, but I'm like, you know what? Like, I think you shared about it. You shared something about Wonder Woman, I think, and I'm like, I gotta get this book now. And it was actually, I saved that one for last because I heard that it was like the best. So I made sure to read the other Future State books first because I'm like, I feel like I don't want to start off strong and then be disappointed at the end, which I made myself disappointed at the beginning so that it only got better. And the thing that disappointed me at first was the fucking Flash book. I won't get too into it. We talked before we start recording, but that book was trash. It was horrible. I won't even read the second issue. Like, that's how I don't even want to waste my time. Anybody listening, if you haven't read it and you were planning to, don't do it. Save your money. Go buy a better book.
Yeah. I think the one, I mean, I didn't read the Flash. Out of the 6, that was the one I didn't pick up because we didn't have any more of the regular covers because they were all in pulls. And I think we only had like 1 for the rack. So I was like, what, I'm not.
I didn't look at the shelves when I picked up my books this week because I didn't work.
Yeah.
But I did hear that a lot of these books are selling out.
Yeah.
A lot of the Future State books are selling well. So
like some of our subs like literally pulled the whole thing.
Yeah, we have sub to all Future State. Remember, I told you I was joking like I was gonna sub to fuck that. But yeah, a lot of people sub to that, and then a lot of people are subbing to the variant covers as well. So
dude, those Jenny Frison freaking covers.
Oh, yeah, she's an amazing artist,
dude.
She's fucking phenomenal. She's a great cover artist. Yeah.
I can't wait till she does interior.
Oh man, I know. I can't wait either.
Okay, but you talked about how the Flash disappointed you. I didn't read it, so I saved myself the disappointment. What disappointed me was this.
You know what? I didn't read it, obviously. Like I told you, I'll tell you. I read the Flash. I read Next Batman. I read Wonder Woman, and I read the Swamp Thing. So that one, because some of the reviews are coming out early, right? So I just read the little quick caption, and that one said the only highlight, the art. And I was like, okay, then I'm just not going to read it. But can you share a little bit about it? I don't care if you spoil it or anything.
Okay. Well, what essentially happens is the son of Brainiac, or like the AI child of Brainiac / whatever he's mixed with, attacks Metropolis. And this whole thing happens. And basically it results in John Kent bottling up Metropolis, like Brainiac does with when they encapsulate it in a bottle.
John does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
For his safety, to protect Metropolis.
All right.
Right? And then this whole thing happens where him and Supergirl get into a fight, but like it's weird because Brain Cells is the name of the AI. and he captured. It's this whole thing where everybody's linked into like a network where people have like brain cell. It's kind of like that whole QAnon conspiracy theory thing where they're trying to put chips into people so that way they can track you and do find out whatever you do. It's kind of like that. It's weird, and I didn't like it. It was just, it felt like more of the same. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It didn't.
Yeah.
There was nothing fresh about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm actually, the thing is, like, I'm looking forward to Superman, whatever, World of War.
Oh,
or
hey,
whatever.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I talked to Philip Kennedy Johnson yesterday,
Oh yeah,
and he hyped that book so much to me that, and he's taken over action in Superman too, right?
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the way he was describing it and what he's trying to achieve with his books, his future state and the regular. Dude, I'm so excited for it. Whereas before, like, I was intrigued. Now
Yeah.
I'm all in. I want to read it. I'm gonna post that interview soon as I get a chance to edit it. But that's the thing. Like I was talking to you before we start recording, how some of the future state stuff isn't like necessarily going to tie into the regular ongoings, right? It's a possible
Mm-hmm.
future. Well, there
Yeah.
are some things in his Superman, the Worlds at War, and then his House of L one shot that are going to be loosely connected to his thing. He said they're not essential to his Superman run, but that there is going to be a connection there. So
Okay, cool. I'm hyped for that because just the idea of it is dope. It's like,
right.
what's going on with Clark? Where is he? Gladiator World?
And Mikhail Yanin on art, dude.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! I'm all in.
Dude, fantastic. Yes. But yeah, we talked about Yara Flor, Harley Quinn, beautiful. It was a little confusing at first because I couldn't because the way the panel the panels were, it was
real quick
within
Show me real quick.
So hold on. So like this, right?
That you know what? That's Simone DeMeo though. That's how, because like we only find them when they're dead, and then same thing. He did that with Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles. So I think that's just like something that's his that's his thing. That's his panel layout. It's kind of like Andrea Sorrentino on Gideon Falls and Green Arrow, and stuff like how he does weird structure.
No, it's not even about the structure. It's about within the panel. It's simultaneous. In one panel, it kind of simultaneously tells a story. So basically, the premise of it is Jonathan Crane, who's no longer the Scarecrow because he's an employee of the Magistrate now. Magistrate. It's like a Pokemon, right? Like the Magistrate Pokemon. I choose you, and it's like that's like the only word he knows, but it means like a million different things.
That's exactly. That's true.
Right, so it's like simultaneously telling a story where basically he captures Harley Quinn and he tells Harley Quinn, look, we'll let you go if you help us find these people. And it's all of the criminals of Gotham. Like first it was like Professor Pig, not first Professor Pig, it was Professor Pig, and then like Killer Croc, I think, and then it was just Firefly. It was just a bunch of different people with like different psychoses because Harley Quinn is a criminal. Yeah, and a psychiatrist, she has like the insight and sees things that Professor Crane doesn't, and it doesn't work for him because he's an idiot, and he's like he seems a little brainwashed in it. So yeah, but anyway, as far as the paneling goes, as Harley Quinn is like explaining the psychoses, it's kind of like telling the story. I don't know. It was just a little confusing and thing, but I mean. I am gonna go forward with reading the second issue because I want to know where it ends up. But it was just a little frustrating at first. But once I like caught wind of it, which was like in like the tail end of it about what was going on, I was like, okay, this is solid enough. I'll read it. The art's beautiful. Like Simone DeMeo, like you said, is just it's beautiful. It definitely has a manga feel to it.
Yes, I think he should be considered. I think he should be considered one of the A-list artists. I think all he needs is just one big project, and I hate to say it, but probably for the big two, to kind of get him up there. And then I would love to see him on some more creator-owned stuff. I mean, he's good on We Only Find Them When They're Dead, but I mean,
I'm trade waiting.
If you read,
I heard it was great.
Same here. I'm trade waiting that as well. But if you read Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, like. His Ninja Turtle design, because like how every artist always puts a little bit of a spin on the turtles. Like if you read the ongoing Ninja Turtle series that's coming out right now, anytime they have a different artist, well, maybe not so much in the current arcs, but like in the first 100 issues, right? If there'd be different artists, there'd always be just a little twist right, on the
Yeah.
way they would draw them. So
Mhm.
Simone DeMayo's version is dope as fuck, dude. Yeah,
No, I mean,
I'm
his
down to check
character,
it out for the art
his
for sure.
character design in here is dope. Like,
Yeah.
Professor Pig looks dope. Black Mask looks dope. Firefly doesn't look so corny anymore. Like, it's solid. Like, it's dope. I really, 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 really like the art. It's great. They even have a little like short glimpse of what like they give like a short glimpse of what his scarecrow would look like too. Like, it's solid, dude. Like, I mean, it's not the best, but it is up there.
Okay, let's talk Swamp Thing. We'll end with next Batman since that's the other one. But
Did you read Generation Shattered?
no, I forgot to ask to get that. Did you read it?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Well, you realize
it's
that's a
kind of
repurposed story, right? Like that was originally supposed to be. This was when Didio was still at DC. It was going to be like Generation 1, Generation 2, Generation 3. That's what it was supposed to be. And it was supposed to go through the different generations. And then people were assuming 5G was fifth generation, which was going to be, I think, which is what they kind of repurposed Future State with. It's all very confusing. But I know that that's just going to be that one shot. And then I think it's going to have another one shot to cap it off, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's only going to be two. It's only going to be two issues connected, and it's apparently supposed to be like the bridge between Metal and Infinite Frontier, because it's talking about like the effects of Metal and everything that was going on before Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's basically the nothingness, and like everybody like disappearing into like that whole, everything's disintegrating, and Kamandi runs into like a few, like, a future Booster Gold, but like after Booster Gold comes back, and then go how I hate Booster Gold.
I love Booster Gold, dude.
I mean,
you need to read his ongoing. If you read his ongoing series that came out in
the
Jeff Johns that later Dan Jurgens took over, I think you would like Booster Gold, because I hated him too. I did like him in that Justice League series from the 80s with Kevin Maguire and stuff, which it was more of a comedic take on everything. But Booster Gold really becomes like a legit like A-list hero pretending to be a C-list hero to kind of keep that front, because he's now the guardian of time and of all the things that happen in time, fixing like time loops and shit. So he's actually a really cool character. I think you would like it.
That's actually what he does. And then Skeets, instead of Skeets being like a little, and it's like, that's a terrible name. Skeet.
Yeah.
Instead of being a little drone that follows him around, he kind of turns into like a gauntlet. And before this version of Booster Gold passes away, he passes it on to Kamandi. You remember Kamandi?
I love Kamandi, yeah.
Yeah, he passes it on to Kamandi, and then Kamandi is like on like an adventure going through different dimensions and different time periods, like trying to save it. But the thing is, he's trying to get these people, but he doesn't. He messes up somehow almost each time, and picks up someone that he wasn't supposed to. Like he gets Sinestro.
As a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
He gets Golden Age Batman.
He gets Golden Age Batman. He gets a young Superman. He does get 80s Starfire though, which I thought was dope because I love 80s Starfire. Yes. He gets he gets Steel. He puts together this little ragtag team, and then they're off to go save whatever they can save.
Okay.
Hopefully
they still have copies, because I'll call the shop and ask them to put a copy aside. I just want to read it. It's worth checking out. I mean, I'm a DC fan, so I'm sure it's worth checking out.
It's worth checking out. It's definitely worth checking out. Like it was just a little confusing for me because it was just kind of all over the place, and it's definitely worth reading. As a DC fan, you would appreciate it.
Okay.
All
right. You want to talk Swamp Thing? So let me share my thoughts first.
Okay.
I originally thought that this was going to be the new Swamp Thing in here, right? Mm-hmm. I assumed like, it's Future State, so maybe this is his way, because I know it's going to be a 10-issue series that Ram V is also writing coming out of March. So I thought this is the new Swamp Thing, but it's Alec Holland. It wasn't what I expected. The art was beautiful. I love Mike Perkins. I think he's a great artist. Yeah. The whole concept, right, of like Swamp Thing creating these basically hybrid humans, right, from basically they're built almost the same way, and I like those little panel structures, right, where it shows the way he's like constructing them. I thought that was pretty cool.
Dude, I thought when he was talking about like the vocal cords, I was like, yo, that's tight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said,
and the respiratory system, dude.
It wasn't what I expected, and that I guess that's not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I was definitely entertained, and I took it off my pull because I'm like, I don't know that I want to buy all these Future State books, you know what I mean? But like I'm probably gonna end up putting it back on, or at least getting the second issue. You know, like I'm trying not to like lock myself into too many of these fucking books. So I'm literally like getting the first issues that intrigue me. If I don't like them, I drop them, right? And then like this week, I'm adding some of them. But Swamp Thing was it definitely it makes me want to read his ongoing Swamp Thing. For sure. Yeah. And I want to read his Justice League Dark as well. Like, I never read that. I heard it was good. And I know he's going to be doing the backup Justice League Dark stories in Bendis' Justice League run. So, you know, it was a cool book. It was cool. I wouldn't say it was like a knockout for me, but.
Oh, I mean, out of the 6, I feel like a lot of the issues where there were multiple stories, it was just like, it's a lot. It's a lot, especially the Batman, especially Superman. Like, it's a lot. Like, it was a lot. It was.
Superman had a lot of stories too. I don't know. I didn't. That had backup story. Was that a $7.99 book?
This is a $5.99 book. I think there was 2. There was a Mr. Miracle story that I didn't care for.
The Shiloh, but that's Shiloh Norman. That's not Scott Free.
Yeah, right? It's not Scott Free. And then there was a Guardian story in it that I was like, eh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like those 2 stories weren't necessary. I mean, I'm not picking up the second issue, so it doesn't even.
Yeah.
Let's just
I got you.
That. Okay. As far as Swamp Thing, I think Ram V definitely has an understanding of the character of Swamp Thing's character. There's a lot of stoic moments.
Yes.
You know, a lot of stoic moments. A lot of like intelligently sad moments where it's just like, fuck, dude, like. You know, you see Alec Holland still chasing his humanity even far off into the future.
Yeah.
Regardless of how in denial he is of it, he's still chasing his humanity. I feel like him searching for humans is basically he understands their inevitability for destruction, but also the beauty in which that humans can create.
Yeah, it's almost like he's searching for his own humanity and searching for the humans, right? Because he's now cut off from people.
Yeah, he's cut off from people, and then he's talking to the other things of the swamp that he essentially created. So it's like they're pieces of him, as opposed to like being their own sentient things that have these that think on their own, that have genuine interactions, as opposed to humans where they're unpredictable, or other people or other sentients that are unpredictable and make life interesting.
Right.
But now he's just on a constant search, you know.
Right, but they also all have their own personalities, which I thought was kind of cool. And they call him Father Green.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
That was kind of cool too. Yeah.
Yeah. Father Green was dope. I really the art was awesome.
Yes.
You know, and I like the thing that I really appreciated about Future State is that like everything takes place in different time periods, aside from like the Gotham stuff, because all the Gotham stuff is all technically intertwined with each other. But I mean, Swamp Thing obviously takes place way beyond any of this, you know. And it's interesting to see that out of all of it, out of everybody who survived whatever happened, Swamp Thing remained.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's interesting too is that, like, I don't want to spoil the end of Death Metal. I don't want to spoil number 7 because it's only been out a week. I don't want to like risk ruining that ending for anybody. But I think for the most part, this is kind of what has been public knowledge, is that there's more of an omniverse, right? Like, and I feel like that's what we're seeing with in terms of Future State is I don't necessarily. This is what I took. I don't necessarily think that each of these, I think some of them are connected, but I don't think that each of these series necessarily are taking place on the same Earth.
The same
right? Like I think valid. I feel like the Swamp Thing one is the possibility of like this might be on a different Earth, right? I think like obviously like we see the Justice League book that's coming out this week with and then Wonder Yara Flor's on there, so obviously there's connectivity there. We got the next Batman on there as well, so I think there is connectivity, but I think that some of these have the potential to not even be connected. I mean, I could be wrong. So far, like all the Bat titles are connected, right? Maybe this is a completely wrong guess. Maybe Swamp Thing is the only one that's not connected, but it seems like it's so far removed from everything DC that this potentially could be just a different Earth that has been taken over and the humans are like not there anymore.
I mean, that's what I loved about Swamp Thing anyway. Like Swamp Thing, like throughout the history of his publishing, like he's always been kind of independent of like the rest of the DC universe's multiverses. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I mean, starting with the Alan Moore stuff. I mean, like, you know what I mean? He's always been very disconnected from it. He's kind of been like his own self-contained story within that respect, and you know that's kind of what I feel here, and that disconnect also provides him a lot more freedom as to how his stories unfold too. Like it's great. I mean I mean sound like a broken record, but you and I we profess our love for the character so much. Dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Fuck, I just want to say this right before we get into the next Batman, because I know that's coming up next. I think Snyder, this is my opinion, I think Snyder stuck the landing with Death Metal. I think it was a good finale.
Me too.
I think redeem is the wrong word, but it had such an effect on me as a reader that I'm going to do an episode, probably I'm going to record it tomorrow, going through issue 7, just so that I can talk about how I think he stuck the landing perfectly, and it really made me it really made me excited for DC going forward. You know what I mean? Like
it made me excited for Infinite Frontier.
Yeah,
definitely. It was great. Yeah. I really legitimately thought that it was well done.
Yeah,
it was really well done. And like, you know, like I still have replays from the beginning of Death Metal when Nick and I were talking about it and how just absolutely ridiculous it was. Yeah, but then like its ridiculousness wasn't the main part of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't. It didn't ride the ridiculousness wave. There was actually something of substance there, and by the end of it, it revealed itself.
Right. In such great fashion. Yes.
Glorious.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Like I liked it. I mean, I definitely liked it way better than Metal.
I agree. Oh, for sure, dude. For sure. Yeah. This ending is way better than the ending of Metal. Hands down. I think it's.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a page in there. There's a page in there that just made me smile when I saw it, and I was just like, oh, like it's like I felt like gratification. Like when I'll say it real quick, and Barry is running towards Wally. Wally's sitting on the Mobius chair, and I think it's a dark version of Wally.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're nothing but a bad idea." And I think a smile must have come across my face when I read it, because I'm like, Snyder is legitimately saying, you were a bad idea and you shouldn't have existed, because that's what I thought. So like getting to see that, like just that one panel, I'm like, dude, you got me. And that was early on in the issue, right? And then like as it moved forward, I'm like, this is just great. This is great.
That was one of the things that I like too, how like everybody confronted their darks and their fears, you know, which was absolutely fantastic. And I'm so glad that the Batman Who Laughs is over.
Yes, I'm glad. I don't want to see him no more, dude. Like they beat that dead horse so bad. It's like, I'm glad it is done. Like he's gone. Like I mean, I'm sure it's comics. There's possibility he can come back, but I think as of right now, I don't see them using the Batman Who Laughs for a long time. I mean, Snyder said he's stepping away from DC for a while. So I mean, he's
stepping away from superhero titles.
Yeah. So I'm kind of down for that.
Wait, that's the thing about Future State and Infinite Frontier that has me the most excited. For the first time in years, we're gonna see no DC titles tied to Johns, or no DC titles tied to Snyder, which isn't bad. Isn't necessary. I'm not saying that that they did anything wrong.
Or you're not saying it's a good thing, and you're not saying it's a bad thing. Yeah,
but it's fresh. It's new. It's Infinite Frontier is that reset button. That's what has me the most excited. Like all these creative teams, you know what I mean? All these creative teams and like all these possibilities, like Infinite possibilities of where these stories can go, especially now that everything is canon.
Yeah, and
That's literally what they
yeah.
that's literally what they said. Everything is canon.
Yeah.
Like
I know
everything is canon.
exciting. It's exciting.
It's not confusing anymore. I mean, there is confusion as to everything is canon, and I understand the confusion as to why, with everybody saying everything is canon. But the thing is, it's just like, you know what? Timelines aside, like it's not that confusing. Like,
Yeah,
like
it's really, to me it's not. I mean, it's just they're saying that every story has happened. No story is erased anymore.
and
Everything
nothing,
is in
no stories
continuity.
is irrelevant.
Yeah, every story has happened, and whether it means it's a different world or not, like much like you have the Batman as a vampire. That's a whole planet of like vampire characters, right? Or you have
Yeah,
the Crime Syndicate on Earth 3 is back and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's very
yeah.
exciting. But let's before we get too far, let's talk next Batman so we can what did you think of the main
So
story? I wasn't impressed, if I'm being honest.
it was solid. It was whatever. I mean, it's a different Batman has always been about family, right? I always forget which Fox it is.
Tim Fox.
No, Luke. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Tim Fox is the Batman. Luke Fox was Batwing.
Okay. But
Right.
anyway, so it's Tim Fox, and family dynamic has always been a big part of the Batman lore. So having a Batman with a different family dynamic is definitely intriguing to me, because how the Bat family is, it comes out in how the Batman is portrayed. I don't know. I don't know how to put that into words, but I mean, it's solid enough. I'm gonna pick up the second issue, mainly because of Brandon Thomas, but we'll talk about that later. It's not like I didn't see anything new that kind of like piqued my interest, but aside from the family dynamic, but I definitely want to see where it goes. I want to see what's up. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's just $8, dude. Like that's where it got me. Like an $8 comic for something that like we're not even going to talk about the last story. Arkham Knights was just so bad that I don't even want to waste any time talking about it. And that, like we said, we'll talk about the Outsiders, but like the main story, it just like I went from reading the other history of the DC Universe by John Ridley, and then I go to reading this by John Ridley, and I'm just like, I had such higher expectations for this. I think the only thing that is to me is intriguing is that this Batman has different motivations for being a crime fighter, right? So it's not like his parents were killed and he becomes a crime fighter. Like he's Batman, but what are his motivations? So that is what I think that was the number one thing that intrigued me, is I want to find out what are his motivations for becoming Batman, right? Because we do see him return in that Joker Warzone special. He's been gone for a long time, and now he's coming back. And now we're thrust into a future where he's been back, and he's now Batman. And not how he even refers to himself as he's the real Batman, right? So
yeah, because what would the real Batman do? No, right. I am the real Batman.
Yeah, so that kind of intrigues me. But like I said, maybe if I didn't have such high expectations, I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. I think Nick Darrington's art was really great, but the story it hasn't captured me, man. Like we talked about Wonder Woman, that captured me, right?
Yeah.
Swamp Thing, that intrigued me.
Wait, back to Wonder Woman. Jerry is gonna be 2021's Jarro. I'm saying it now. That freaking Pegasus, bro.
Dude, hey, hell yeah, and I gotta say, she drives a fucking hell of a horse, dude. That fucking horse looks realistic as fuck. Like that's not like some cartoony looking horse. Like that was a majestic Pegasus, Like for real.
That was a majestic ass Pegasus. Yeah. Anyway, but I don't know. Like it didn't capture me. It didn't, but it did though. Now that we're gonna talk about it, is fucking the Outsiders story by Brandon Thomas. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Holy crap!
That came out of nowhere, dude. I was not expecting that story to be. I don't even think I remembered that he was writing Outsiders until you tweeted it last week, and I was like, wait, Outsiders by Brandon Thomas, like. Okay, all right. That made me even more excited for that title, like that ended up being my favorite story in the book. So
Okay, well, the Signal. Okay, the Signal. I only read like the first issues of his stuff post Metal, so I only know that much of him. As far as Katana goes, I only know very little about Katana.
Okay. Oh, so this is like Katana's a badass character, dude. Her soul taker.
I know she is. I know she is. I know that she's like the shit. I know that she's dope. But like, this is my first actual experience with her as a main part of the story, as opposed to just like an off to the side marginal character. But this is, I mean, let's talk about her freaking character design, dude. Her character design is awesome. Like, holy crap!
How about those pages, dude, where she's like running through the hallways and she's fighting those fools? That was so fucking dope.
Okay, out of the entire Future State, that is my favorite splash page of the entire Future State.
It was so dope. Like, did you just see the fucking sword slashing as she's fucking going through? Oh, dude, so dope.
It plays. It feels like a video game. Like, this thing feels like a video game.
It reminded me of Raiden from Metal Gear Solid, and maybe that might be because I just recently ordered the hardcover of the complete Metal Gear Solid comic book collection. So it adapts like the first game, and then it adapts number 2, Sons of Liberty. So like I had Raiden in my mind, and so I was like watching Katana go. I was like, dude, that's Raiden, dude. Like he's literally going through the Metal Gear base, just slashing fools.
Yeah,
it was dope.
And
it's really dope.
It's great. I especially like the twist in the end with the lightning bolt. Let's just leave it at that.
No, I know, dude. That was pretty dope too. I was like, I want to find out more. I really like. I hope that he does an Outsiders book. I would read an Outsiders book by him. I think like Brian Hill's Outsiders was really good. I read the first. I think I read the first arc, but like when I purged titles, I was like, you know what? This is something I can't have this many Batman books, and for whatever reason, I dropped the title. But I want to read a Brandon Thomas Outsiders. If this was like, let's almost call this like a trailer, right? For an ongoing book. This fucking hooked me. I'm only upset that we're not going to see it again until book 3 of the next Batman. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna. I think there's 2 other backup stories in the next issue of the next Batman, but
this is great. Everything about that Outsider story, I'm like I'm here for it. But like you said, I would love to have Brandon Thomas freaking just write more Outsiders.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how the name of the team took a whole new form, because they're legitimate outsiders now, because they operate outside of the magistrate, outside of like Gotham. Magistrate.
Yeah.
It's great, dude. I mean, the Arkham Knight story.
Well, I don't want to talk about it. Don't, please, because I don't want to be too mean. And every page. So
this is basically the Arkham Knight Suicide Squad.
Every page I turned, I was like, when is this going to end? When is this going to be over? I just want to close this comic. And like, there's something about me that I couldn't close the book without having read it, because I'm like, I don't want to be like completely disrespectful to this creative team, but like that fucking story was just, oh god, it's bad.
It's the Arkham Knight Suicide Squad.
That was bad.
It's the Suicide Squad turned into an Arkham Knight cult. That's what it feels like. Because like because the Arkham Knight, what's her name? Something Arkham.
Astrid
Arkham. She's like very preachy.
Yeah.
She's very preachy. So it kind of felt like she was like gathering a cult.
Oh, dude. Oh, it's horrible. Yeah. Anyways, I like cap it off. I liked the first week of Future State. I think it was decent from what I read, and I'm looking forward to. And I mean, if anyone can pick up issues, go pick up issues. If there are going to be second prints, go pick them up. Like they're worth the read. And just because we don't like certain things doesn't mean that you won't. Like because I encountered a couple people who were like, oh, I didn't like the Swamp Thing, and I was like, you idiot. But when a customer says that to me, I'm like, oh, it's okay. You just don't like good books. That's fine.
So you don't have good taste.
Yeah, I was like, oh, so you like to read shitty books? Okay, all right. I'm like, wait, so why is this book on your pull, but you don't like this? Like, I love fucking with the regulars like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I agree with what you said. Everybody, check them out if you can. And like we said, or like you said, that even if we don't like it, doesn't mean other people won't like it, right? So I think its Future State is looking it's looking good. It's so far it's I would say solid, because there are misses, but there are definitely some hits. So definitely go check them out. Well, if you're not already following us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Comic Lounge. You can follow Dylan at The Dillbot on Instagram. Make sure you throw your comments or suggestions down below, or you can also email us at thecomicloungepod@gmail.com, and make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid goes up. And on that note, we're out.
Later, buds.